What's up, plant junkies? Jody here for another plant video from plantjunkiecreations.com. Today I'm going to be going over the basic plant care of this beautiful fern known as the Staghorn fern. Living in the Pacific Northwest, ferns have become one of my favorite plants. What's unique about this fern is the staghorn fern is a tropical fern. She's epiphytic, so she grows under the canopies of those tropical trees. She is characterized by these long leaves. This is a medium-sized plant, but as they mature, they get very large and they develop. I'm not quite sure what you call this right here, but that's where the leaves actually come out of. They emerge from this beehive looking situation. And over time, as you can see, they start turning brown like a beehive and die away. It's just part of the process of this plant, and you want to leave it. Don't start removing it. It's just part of the decay that this plant needs to emerge new, whatever you call these right here. So this plant, if you like this one, this is for sale at plantjunkiecreations.com. She's in dirt and worm casting, and then also peat moss with wire tie and this beautiful orchid pot. So all you got to do is just water it from up top or water it from the side, let it soak a bit, drain out the water. I just watered her. What I love about this plant is you can be super creative with the way you pot her. So she is a mounting type fern. So what I like to do is I like to utilize the space in my plant room. So I'll put them up in the corner, or if I have like a naked spot on the wall, I'll just mount them onto the wall. If I were to rate the caretake of this plant, I would consider this plant a beginner's plant. It's really easy. If you forget to water her, if you just forget about her in general, she'll start wilting. Just water her, she'll come right back. She's super forgiving. The light requirement for this plant can tolerate medium to bright indirect light, but thrives best in that bright indirect light. So in the tropical rainforest, this plant is under the tree canopies, receiving that filtered bright indirect light. I notice growing this plant indoors, if you have grow lights, the leaves tend to perk up more. The water requirement for this plant just depends on what type of environment you have it in. And it being December and having the heater on, they dry out quickly. So this pot right here, I water on a weekly basis. The other plants that you saw in the introduction, I will water on a 10 to 14 day cycle. This plant is drought tolerant and forgiving. So what I like for you guys to know is go ahead and let it dry out all the way and then give it that thorough watering. So the way that I water this pot here is I can either water on top, I can even get this part, whatever this is called, all wet, or I can water it from the side, let it soak up and then drain. Don't have it sitting in water. The other two plants, what I'll do is I'll put them in the bathtub. They don't mind the chlorine. That's when I fertilize them, so I'll add some fertilizer. Yeah, I'll give them a shower, or you can soak them in the bathtub and then take the drain, let them drain out. Once they're done dripping, put them back in their spot. With watering is humidity too. This plant does enjoy humidity. The more humidity you have, the more rich your leaves will be, thick and vibrant, shiny. The less humidity you have, you'll have kind of a dryness look to your leaves. They'll be kind of crispy. So with that being said, keep this fern away from like your heat vents or like an open door. Like you don't want that really cold draft or really hot draft. The soil requirement for this plant, you can basically use any indoor potting mix. What I've used is peat moss with added perlite. I've also used cocoa coir with added perlite. And with that, I like to add some sort of organic matter. I use worm casting, and then kind of to hold it together, I like to use sphagnum peat moss. And in this situation, I've used wire, but for the one I have hanging in the corner, I've used fishing line. You can also just put this straight into soil and pot it up. That works just fine too. The fertilizer requirement for this plant, you can get away with fertilizing weekly or bi-weekly. It really doesn't matter, but you do want to fertilize it to encourage new growth and to give it nutrients. So a good time for me to fertilize is when I'm giving my ferns a shower or a bath. Well, mainly a bath, not a shower. But what I like to use is Super Thrive. A little bit goes a long ways. I just put some of this in the bathtub, let it soak it up, let it drain. Another fertilizer you can use is worm casting. So when you have it in soil, sprinkle some worm casting in there, kind of bury it a little, or you could sprinkle it on here and water it. It just needs some sort of nutrient so it can live its best life. If you guys enjoyed this video, remember to click on that like button. Also, if you're interested in plant care content, click on that icon to subscribe to my channel.